Behold, the calendar that determines our destiny. Welcome to Crocs in the Kitchen.
I'm Jessica.
And I am Brian.
Today we're going to be doing something a bit different. This is something that has been highly requested, meaning that a total of 2 people, who may actually be the same person, have contacted me about this. So basically we're going to go through our meal prep process. So we have a calendar that we use to keep track of all the meals that we eat. And then we also have a grocery shopping list that we will go through later. So the first part of our process starts out a little something like this. Hey Brian, what do you want to eat this week?
I don't care.
Do you want soup? Do you want chili?
Yeah,
Which one do you want?
either one.
There's no help there. Like, it's just an endless conversation, and I'm just walking around the kitchen trying to figure out what we're gonna eat, and nothing from this one. So what I've done is put all of our recipes together into a book so that if we have moments like that, we can flip through it and look for inspiration and figure out what we might want to have for the week.
This book contains recipes that we know we really like, things that we've discovered from other cookbooks or other YouTubers, as well as a bunch of recipes that we have developed ourselves.
Yes. So after we go through that book and decide what we're in the mood for that week, we can start to compile our calendar. So let's show them how that's done. So we originally purchased this magnetic calendar just to plan out our meals a bit better even before we started this whole food plant-based lifestyle. We just wanted a way to track what we were going to eat so that we didn't end up going to the grocery store all the time and just buying ingredients every night, or going out to eat and sitting around for hours having conversations about what do you want to eat today, which has happened a lot in our lives. So when we first started, we actually put our lunch and dinner on here, which you'll see later that we're just putting our lunches on here now. But if you do want to plan out your lunches and dinners, you can just go ahead and draw like a little line on the box and then write lunch on the top, your lunch and your dinner both on there. So we basically have a giant salad for dinner pretty much every single night. So that takes one meal plan out of the, possibility. So we don't need to think about that one. For breakfast, we usually rotate between 2 or 3 different recipes, which we are currently working on a video for, but we don't really write those on here either. This is all focused on lunch. So you can see here, we just cross out each day as we go, and then we have a plan for what we're gonna eat for lunch that day. So for this week, we're thinking that maybe we will get some of the veggie soup that we have in the freezer out and use it for part of the week. And then we decided on a jambalaya recipe that we're gonna create for the other part of the week. So I would go ahead and just write in, like, Sunday we'll make the jambalaya, so we'll have it for dinner that night. Am I saying jambalaya wrong?
No, you're saying it right.
Okay.
For a Yankee.
So you would just basically have jambalaya, and then we'll probably do that for a good 3 days. We don't mind eating the same things over and over. It's kind of just, become part of our lives. And then we have veggie soup in the freezer that we're gonna thaw out because we batch cook everything we make. And so we will eat that for the rest of the week. And then on weekends, we'll usually do something more special or different, like maybe pizza. Like tonight we're gonna have veggie pizza because it's one of those things that doesn't really meal prep well. It's something that takes a little bit more time to prepare, or you have to put a bunch of different ingredients together. We also have a taco recipe we like to do on weekends. So it also is a time for us to explore and try new recipe ideas and develop new ideas and stuff like that. We don't like to do that on the weeknights. We just want to have a quick and easy salad for dinner.
If you notice, this is actually a broadcast calendar, which means that the weekdays start on Monday.
When I purchased it, I could only find that, and it actually really annoys me because every other calendar that I use starts on Sunday. So we will provide links below if we can find them to this. I know they do have a version that starts on Sunday, which might be a little easier for you.
I love this though. This
He's
is
a radio guy.
This is the way my mind works. Weeks start on Monday.
He's a radio guy, so he's used to that, but it's just weird for me. But also I wanted to point out that we usually try to do this whole process of planning on the calendar on like a Wednesday, and then on Thursday is when I'll compile our grocery list. I don't like to spend hours doing this stuff, so it's just like a quick thing here and there throughout the week, and then by the time Saturday comes around and I'm ready to go grocery shopping, everything's ready. Also, a very important key to this is batch cooking. You need to, when you make recipes and you find recipes that you love, make sure you just make a huge batch of them so that you can keep extras in your freezer, which actually, right now, we have some veggie soup and then also some chili in our freezer. And so that's what we're gonna take this giant bowl of veggie soup out and thaw it out, and then that will make 3 or so meals worth for our week. So after you figure out what you're gonna eat for the week, you need to plan out what you need to buy for your grocery list. So this is our master list, which basically has everything that we ever purchase on it. And then I just go through our pantry and fridge and freezer and determine which things we don't need and cross them off the list. Then after I've crossed everything off the list and added anything else that we might need from, certain recipes or special things that we're going to be making for the week, I will go ahead and go back to the computer and delete those things and make a cleaner list to take with me shopping. You don't have to do that part, but I'm kind of a little bit OCD about that stuff. So I like to have a clean version of my list when I go in the store. Check out our blog, which is linked in the description below, where you can find more tips and also a downloadable version of our grocery list, which you could customize and make your own. So after doing this for a while, you'll start to, realize what things that you need every week, how much you go through in a week, when you need to replenish your supply of certain things. We use a lot of frozen fruit. So in my frozen section, I'm going to check for mango, pineapple, raspberries, blueberries, and cherries, because those are all the frozen fruits that we always have to have on hand. So it looks like right now we've got a bag of cherries, which will be fine. We've got, we've got plenty of raspberries, but we might need more blueberries. We're down to 1.5 bags of mango, which should be fine, and we got plenty of pineapple. So I will go ahead and cross off things that we don't need. So pineapple we don't need, raspberries we don't need, we do need blueberries, we don't need cherries, and we are good on mango. So I'll just go through and cross off what we do have. As far as the other things, those are things that we use every single week, all the time, but there might be things in here like corn, which is not something we use every week, but I just like to make sure we have it on hand in case. Right now we've got plenty of corn, and so I'll cross that off. Going through other categories, you're gonna find you need to tailor this for what your family and you use, and make sure that you always have your staple stuff on hand. And then also you wanna go through any special recipes you're making for the week and double check that you have all the ingredients for that. So I just go through category by category and look and see what we might need for the week. Now we're gonna check out the refrigerator. So what are you doing in there, Peeve? Get out of there. So in the refrigerator, you can see it's pretty bare right now as far as, it's all the staple stuff is in there, and Scout is in there right now. But usually we like to make sure we have enough almond milk on hand because we use that a lot. Fruits and veggies as far as oranges and apples. It looks like right now we're running low on apples. We don't have any of our salad making stuff in there right now. Normally this is all full of lettuce and all that, and so we definitely need a lot of stuff. So I'll just go through the checklist of fresh veggies and refrigerated stuff and just make sure we have everything that we need.
If we happen to run out of things throughout the week, we write them down on here. As you can see, we need a new Peeve. As you can see, we use a lot of different types of spices around here, but we don't run out of them necessarily very quickly. So they aren't put on our master list because we don't need them every week, and the list is reserved for things we need every week.
So this week we decided to make jambalaya, so we're going to compare and make sure we have all the ingredients on our list or in our pantry. So for example, it says we need cremini mushrooms, which is not something that we have currently, so I'm just going to put a little star by that and maybe even a note that says that we need 1/2 pound of those. We're also going to need some brown rice for this recipe, which we just ran out of, so I'm going to write on here brown rice because we do not have that on our normal list that we buy every week. Also, we're going to look through all the spices and make sure that we have everything. I know we have smoked paprika, I know we have thyme, we may be running low on bay leaves, so I will write that down. So you just go through the recipe you're making for the week in addition to basically everything that you eat as a staple and compare the list. So as you can see, we use a combination of this calendar, our grocery list, and some meal prep and batch cooking to keep our lives organized.
And her OCD.
Yes. Be sure to check out our blog post because I'll be putting a more organized list of tips in there, as well as our downloadable grocery list.
I will say this, without Jessica, my life would be very, very unorganized. So I do appreciate all that you do for this.
Thank you.
That's all I got.
Make sure you're following us on social media. Links are below. Also, if you could subscribe if you have not already, we would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah.
And otherwise, we'll see you next time on Crocs in the Kitchen.
Bye-bye.